What's going on, guys? It's it's me. Uh, my name's Lewis. This is the first episode of my podcast for Bob's Boys Pod. Today we're having a discussion for fathers and Father's Day because today is Father's Day. Quick thing is I started this podcast because the biggest person in my life who inspires me is my grandfather. He is one of the he is one of the biggest inspirations in my life. He passed sadly in 2021, but he is the reason why it is called Bob's Boys. So let's get some people in here and maybe we can start discussing everybody's fun time with either being a dad, becoming a dad. Any questions? The event doesn't start till 6, so that's really when I'm expecting to see a lot more people popping in and everything. So, hopefully that starts popping up. Hi, Amanda. Thanks for joining. Glenda, thank you for joining. I appreciate you guys. Hey, Renee, what's going on? How's everybody's day going? Can you hear me? Hope everything's going on all right. Just got a new soundboard, so I'm trying to listen in. These kids. Yeah, the kids are crazy. All right, cool. Sounds good. All right, we were having a little bit of fun earlier trying to figure out how this works. We're having a little bit of trouble figuring it out, but I think Renee's saying it's sounding pretty good, so appreciate that. Thank you. Alexa, play some dad rock.
Playing cat rock music on Amazon
not
Music.
Cat rock, not cat rock. Okay. Tina, what's going on? Thank you for joining. How's everyone's day going today? Hopefully well.
Is this really happening? And are you really real? We're looking at the plus side and we're wondering how to feel. I'm an imperfection, my only guarantee.
Okay.
Impossible to say how much you really mean.
Can you hear the music? Probably, right?
No,
Right?
No.
You know it was a mistake too.
No.
Tap that likes, guys, and share it out. Let's get some people in here. It's almost showtime. So, like I said before, this podcast has started off with for my grandfather. He's my foster father, and that's the wrong one. My bad. Like the corner of my room. How's that? So, he took me in. He's my foster father, like I said. So I just wanted something to remember him by, and I keep it. He helped me through a lot. So starting the podcast to help out others is pretty much, what it's about. It's gonna be nonsense. Ryan, what's going on, boss? How you doing today? So, gonna try my best to make him proud of what I'm naming after him and what I'm doing here. So let's stick to it. Hopefully it blows up. What's going on, Ryan? Not right now. Hang on, bud. Got 10 more minutes till the event starts. Hopefully people start flooding in. Ryan, share it out, like that live. I appreciate it. Some nice water because it's hot up here. Started a little early so we can make sure that the sound is going pretty well. So hopefully that's going pretty well. Just letting you guys know I am screen recording. It's almost event time. Yeah. Start event. Why not? Let's start it off. It's asking me to go a little 10 minutes early. Might as well. So, today's discussion is going to be pretty much anything to do about dads. I'm a dad. I got four children, and I have a bunch of people that are dads. I mean, I feel like everybody has people that are dads, but just let's talk about it. Let's talk about our relationship with our fathers, and what any lessons that they have for us. We can start talking about pretty much anything. More what? I mean, he said more. Turn the music down. Oh, I'm sorry. Brett, what's going on? Thanks for joining. Appreciate it. So, for me, being a dad, it just makes me just happy, honestly. What's going on, Bobby? Thanks for joining. Being a dad was one of the scariest moments of my life, and I do not regret it at all. It was hard, very big transformation from who I was to who I had to be. And, I had some good influences, I had some bad influences, and, I learned a lot from, just experience, I guess. That's pretty much what it is. You just experience the fatherhood. It's what you do. Depends on if you're thrown into it, you by accident, however it is. It's all in how you manage going forward. It's definitely, Rini. It definitely is a learning curve, a big learning curve. You're responsible for this little thing looks just like you, and you don't know at all what to expect. Like nothing. You don't expect any of the dirty diapers, the late nights, the stress that comes through it, and even all that. It just, you see their face, and for me, when I see them, it makes me feel home, and coming from my background, I never really felt home until I had my kids. And yeah, that's pretty much it. You just gotta grow up and do it, I guess. What's going on, Marcus? Thanks for joining. I appreciate it. And yeah, it's just having to learn day after day and grow, and hopefully, when they're all on their own, they can survive, like pretty much survive. This world's all messed up, so that's our job as parents and everything. And the difference, I think, between moms and dads is that dads, I feel like we were there to not only protect them, but to protect them and teach them about this world. You know what I mean? Like, we have to be the ones to make sure that they're good. So some dads can be tough, some dads can be lenient. It all depends. Um, Thanks for liking them live, Noah. I appreciate it. So it's like just trying to do, um, trying to make a good mix between the good and the bad. Uh, so, I mean, there's, sorry. So, actually, one thing that I've learned from not having a father. Gotcha. Hang on. Let's turn that off. There we go. Oh, there we go. Awesome. All right. So, uh, like I was saying, like, not growing up with a biological father, but even having my foster father and my uncle who was married to my aunt, again foster aunt, whatever, however the however it's written out, um, it was difficult. It was definitely hard on me and hard on my childhood, but I definitely wanted to become better than that. And I'm glad I had the moral support and the just support in general and upbringing in general from the family that I was with, because I want to be who I am today. I want to be the dad I am today. You know, it's pretty much like, I don't know, things you learn and things that you want to be. You learn them either by not doing the exact thing as you're learning or being told. Thanks for the heart, me. Or you learn by doing the things that this person, this protector that you've had, taught you. You understand? Like, I learned that consistency and just being there for my kids. I appreciate that, Bobby. Bobby's my uncle. He's up in this chat, and I appreciate you. Happy Father's Day, Bobby. He is a awesome stepfather to my cousin, and you know, being a stepdad is tough. It's real tough. Kind of segued there, but whatever. We'll start on that. Being a stepfather is probably one of the hardest things. Not one of the hardest. Let me get this straight. Being a stepfather is hard. Now, being a parent is hard, all in general. What's up, Shane? Thanks for joining. But being a stepfather, I feel like has to be a little bit more difficult because you're going into this relationship with a woman, and or or man, whatever you guys please, and they have this being with them, and you're not only trying to make a connection between you and the parent, but you're also trying to make a connection with the little one, because that comes with the territory. It's not like, oh hey, me and you are cool, blah blah blah, we'll be dating, but this guy, move him off to his dad's, or move him off to whatever. I don't, whatever. You can't do that. That's you're just, you're a menace to society if you think that. So being there for someone and not having that bond, quote unquote, is tough. And trying to be the father figure of that child that's not yours, it's tough. especially, you know, I actually had a conversation with my aunt. Thanks for the heart puffs. With my aunt who went and was married to my uncle, and when they got divorced, um, we've talked and everything, and it was because her and him used to argue because he wanted to raise me one way because that's who raised me, and she was kind of like babying me and protecting me, and that was um, a big argument. Thank you. Happy Father's Day. That was a big argument that they've had. Is just pretty much he wanted to do one way, she wouldn't let him because she felt protective over me. And she told me that she kind of regrets doing that because she started doing it with her daughter in her next relationship, where her girlfriend at the time was trying to be the parental figure and she wasn't letting her, and it caused a lot of stress because um, there was a block between the child and the step parent. So right, that's what I was thinking. No, I wish they did that too. Um, but you got that. You need to have that bond between step parent and child. I feel because like if you're constantly having that roadblock in the way, they can kind of just walk all over the step parent, and that's not fair because they always know. Like, thanks for the finger hearts. They always know that mom is gonna be there to be like, hold up, let me deal with my child, and that's not fair to stepdad. So for all those stepdads who are trying, you guys are awesome, especially with those that don't have the father. I'm gonna be doing guests in a bit. No, don't worry. The event just started, so we'll be doing probably just chatting, letting people come in for the next 15 minutes, I think, and then want to start getting people in a little bit. So around 6:15, 6:20, I'll put the boxes up and people can join and we can get underway with that. But man, I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. So being a stepdad, you guys are awesome. I'm also a stepfather, so I know where you guys are coming from. And if you have stepfathers, just understand that they stepped up. They really stepped up, especially if you have a father who wasn't really there, or no, you're good. Didn't have a father that was there, or quote unquote deadbeat dad, someone who passed away, any variation of it, and you know, you guys, I feel like we get recognition because people say, oh, well, I couldn't raise someone else's kid. And when it comes down to it, especially if you've been there for years and then you hear that, to me, he's not someone else's kid. He's my kid. I've known my stepson since he was 4 or 5, and that's my kid, dude. He has the same like mannerisms of come from me. We like all the same freaking stuff. Like the kid, he's mine, dude. You know, like that's no one else's kid but mine. Like no matter what, it comes down to legal stuff. That's all it is. But that's my boy. I love him to death. So that don't let people discourage you or talk down or anything like that. That's pretty much what I gotta say to our stepfathers, because it's a tough job. It's a real tough job trying to become the father of someone else's child. And for those who don't have the ability to, because the other parent is kind of blocking you, it could be difficult. So that's pretty much it. So anyways, I hope everybody's day is going very well. I hope everybody had a nice, lunch and are listening and can stop in. Uh, does anybody have any good memories that they want to share with the pod? You can just here. I'll put this up. Hang on, just 1 second. I'll do this. So if anybody wants to come in and talk about it, it's a very raw and deep subject. This day brings up hard feelings, but it's been a good day. You know what, Noah? I completely understand that, bro. Thanks, Shane. The deep feelings for me is that even though I grew up with a foster family that loved me, that cared for me, someone who was a somewhat father figure, but he was my grandfather. Um, it was hard. It was real hard, and I'm sorry to hear that, Shane. I I lost my grandfather in 2021, and that had to be one of the hardest, you know, deaths that I had to deal with as of lately, and just trying to figure out the steps of being a father. Getting back to what I was saying, I'm sorry. Finding out the steps to be a father after not really having the dad of you see all around is, oh man. Um, I never had my little years growing up with my dad. So growing up and seeing my friends hang out with their dad or talk to their dad or anybody who came into my life as a male figure, I always looked to them as my role models and everything like that. I look to um, pretty much anybody that would mentor me at all, and that's pretty much what I would love to do. You know, I'm I want to be that somewhat father figure, not only to my kids but to anybody who is lost, because I I was lost, you know. Um, so I completely understand that. No, a lot of deep feelings come with today, but when you look at that little one, they definitely brighten it brighten it up, if you know what I mean. Shane, 55. Wow. Yeah, no, my parents were young. They were, um, my mom was turned 14, then had me, and then my dad was, I think, 18, 19 or something like that. He was a pig. That's another reason why I don't talk to the guy. And, oh well. So, people think I'm a cynic because I don't have a relationship, but still is a pig. Yes, you are completely right, Rainey. He is not someone who I look up to anymore, and at one point, maybe just a little bit, because hey, that's your dad. You still have that bond towards your father, no matter how fucking shitty they are. Um, and that's what kind of stinks, is gaining this attachment towards someone, then having that realization of, wow, this person is very toxic for me, to, you know what, I'm gonna move past this. That's pretty much how that works. Well, for me. Um, if anybody else wants to hop up and discuss anything, they can. Just send a request and I can get you guys in here. Let's do a fixed panel. Do 2 at a time. Why not? We'll start off small. How about that? Shane, you want to come up and discuss a little bit? We can do that. There we go.
Well, dude, I feel you on the whole stepdad thing. I was with a lady for 17 years.
Yeah.
When I got with her, her youngest was 1, 3, and 5. I was with her for 17 years. So I pretty much raised them their whole life. And out of the 3 kids, I've heard from one of them today. That's it.
Jeez.
So I feel you, dude. It's hard being a stepdad because, I ain't got no kids of my own.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's real. Especially when you pretty much their whole life, you help raise them, you provided for them. But then once they get old enough to do their own thing, they forget you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I completely understand. And, it does take a lot out of you. And I can only feel for you because you make this bond with this child no matter what, Like, if something doesn't work out between you and the mother, like, you have a bond that you kind of just need you got to cut that out, or you can still have the relationship, but then again, the mother cannot want you to have a relationship. So you're losing something that you care about and love if it doesn't work out. So.
Well, and not only that, you got to look at the 1-year-old and the 3-year-old.
Yeah.
If nobody would have ever told them any different, because their daddy he wasn't around ever.
Yeah.
And if nobody would have told them, they would have never had a clue that I wasn't their daddy. You know what I mean?
100%. I completely understand that. Like, it's nuts how important fathers are, and a lot of people, like just me watching things on the internet and all that, like I feel like we get a bad rap more often, if it makes sense. And a lot of things could happen with children that don't have a father figure in their lives, I don't have the statistics on me now. I was kind of really nervous about today, so but I did watch a video the other day, and it said that a lot of like a good chunk of percentage of children who are born or live without a father in their life go to crime, or end up in jail, end up doing drugs, end up committing unalivings, like a whole nine yards, and it's nuts, like, because I'm not saying it's just, a child without a father, because if they don't have their mother in their lives too, it could happen too, it's just the video I saw, because
Look at that joker down there, Ryan. That joker kept me up till after 2 o'clock this morning. Did he tell you that?
No, he didn't. All right. So Shane.
But you also got to think about it. I mean,
I'm listening.
I done a lot with them kids. I raised them. I was their baseball coach, their football coach. I bought them their first vehicles.
Yeah.
And then once their mama decides to leave, then it's like the kids completely forgot who I was, I ain't talked to the kids. 2 of the kids I hadn't talked to since their mama left. One of them, he comes by and sees me all the time, of course, the oldest one. But, I mean, it's one of them things that it seems like it turns around and bites you in the behind, because you done everything you could for them, treated them like your own kid, you raised them, you bought them their first vehicle. I mean, literally, I was their baseball coach. I was their football coach. I was all of that. And then now they're not here anymore,
Yeah. And that's a part of you, dude. Like, you put all this time into them, and it's just, it's not gone, but gone,
Oh, yeah, like last year hit me pretty hard.
Yeah.
Because I never thought it would be that way. But last year at Christmas, Thanksgiving, they didn't show up, they didn't call me. They didn't do nothing, you know, and that, I'm telling you, that rips a man apart. You know what I mean?
It does. I couldn't imagine losing that sort of bond between a father and a child. Like, you know, mothers have that maternal bond, and they gain that through holding them for the 9 months, and, you know, seeing them and going through that, you know, whole process. Yet we never had that as men. We don't have that sort of bond. So we do get a bond with these children. We do have, we do gain some sort of, you know, I can't even think of the word, but we do gain something between even our fathers and our children or stepchildren or anything else like that.
Well, and you know, last year,
It's okay, Rainey.
we always went on vacation when the kids was on spring break.
Yeah.
Right? So last year, I went all out, paid for a 7-day vacation. We went and had, supposed to go have a good time. Believe it or not, the kids went with me. They was there 1 day.
Yeah.
Called their mama to come get them. So where we was on vacation at, I left, come pick my mama up, and brought my mama back. My mama stayed with me the rest of the time. I mean, dude, I'm telling you, I don't know what their mama has told them since she decided to leave, but dude, I'm telling you, it's crazy.
Yeah. No. Who knows? Who knows? Because there are those, you know, there are mothers that I feel like try to keep their children away from the father because they're spiteful towards them or anything that may happen. Because I've seen many people, men, in either dad groups on Facebook or Bookface, however you want to say it. Now we don't get bananaed on here, but in a couple of the dad groups I'm in on there, I see all these stories of I don't know what to do. You know, my ex-wife is saying this, and making my kids, you know, doing this, and you know, I'm not saying that it's just, you know, there's two sides to every story. You know, I'm not saying that they're the 100% best father, but if you're at least trying to be there for your kid, that shows a little bit of something.
Somebody asked me yesterday.
Yeah.
Yesterday, did I remember back when I was a kid, which, you know, that was a long time ago, but yeah, I kind of remember a little bit.
Yeah.
And they asked me, do you remember when you was a kid, any of your schoolmates, friends having ADHD? I said, no. I've never even heard that until now.
Yeah.
And they said, well, the reason you didn't hear about it, because when the kid supposedly had ADHD back then, their parents used a belt and put it on that tail.
Hey, you know, kids are going to be hyper. That's something I've learned. It's just kids are hyper. They do whatever the hell they want, really. I think that's for any father. So,
well, and you know, if you ever look at my page or whatever, Taco, which is my great niece.
Yeah.
That's my sister's.
Oh, that's the little girl on your page?
Daughter's. Yeah, that's Taco. That's my great niece. She loves Uncle Shane now. She comes over and hangs out with me all the time. But I'll tell her quick, there ain't no pills around here. I'm going to tear your tail up now.
Yeah, no, there's,
That's how it was whenever I was a kid, too. I wasn't diagnosed with ADHD until I was, like, 17. And they just started coming out with, like, all the medications and stuff like that. And I'm 29 now, and it's been forever since I've taken a pill, but it used to be just ass whooping after ass whooping because of my ADHD.
and that's a difference between, like, a bunch of people. I'm sorry, cutting you off, Dave. What's up?
I actually was just saying the same. Back when I was actually tested, it was it came back as inconclusive. You're talking the early to mid 90s for that. They didn't know what it was back then. in comparison to what it is now. But
I was
even
gonna
as
say,
an
my test said too was inconclusive, and this was
Yeah.
back in 2006, something like that. But
Yeah,
they,
but
they didn't do a whole lot of studies about it until like 2015.
Which
Right.
is nuts.
Yep, I would agree with that. Because if you look at some of the kids now, they have some of the same symptoms kids did back then. But like you said, doctors didn't know nothing about it. Didn't know what to call it. That was the problem. They didn't know what to call it and how to charge you for the medicine because there wasn't no medicine. Well, they figured out now how to charge you for the medicine. So now every kid you see about nowadays is on medication for ADHD, you know?
They're collecting ADHD meds instead of Pokemon cards nowadays.
Yeah, it's like everybody's on medication now. I haven't taken medicine for my ADHD in but I've been drinking copious amounts of like soda and energy drinks and stuff because what it does is it releases that dopamine into the people's brain that has ADHD to help calm them down. At the same time, it's screwing with their heart or whatever else because of it. But at the same time, it's actually helping us because we have ADHD. We need that extra dose of dopamine to help cool us out. You know what I mean?
Caffeine works wonders.
So
yes, it does.
pretty much just give the kids caffeine and they'll calm down, right?
Yep.
Hey, Gonzo, Ryan's trying to come in.
It's a dad hack.
Pretty much. I mean, I would give my 4-year-old a Dr. Pepper, but at the same time, I really don't want to deal with that extra hyperness that they've already got.
Well, the Dr. Pepper, at least it's caffeine free.
Well,
It's
and
just a
I know it's crazy, and this might help y'all out. I don't know. But when Taco's over here, she'll get so hyper and run around, act crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I give her to calm her down?
What?
Sunny D. Sunny D. Like the orange juice Sunny D.
Yeah.
And it relaxes her and she'll chill out. And next thing you know, I look over there and she'll be asleep on the couch.
I'm
And
going to have to try that
that's
because
nuts.
I have 2 4-year-olds, so I'm definitely going to have to try that because they're hypers all freaking get out. They're tearing apart their bedroom as we speak.
What do you do?
Well, those would be the terpenes in the orange juice, acting with your CB1 receptor.
I just so happens she was at my mama's house,
Yeah.
and that was all my mama had for her to drink, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And my mama gave it to her and it chilled her out. So sure enough, I ain't even bulljiving. Now when she gets over hyper excited and all that, that's what I do. I give her a Sunny D and I'm talking about just completely mellow her out, boy.
So, speaking of that, you know, parents have changed throughout the years. Like you said, Shane, nothing was the same as it was back then. So, like,
Nope.
for me, I don't know what it is, but I guess I just listened to my,
Hey, Trevor.
parents and everything. So, I never,
Well, back when I was a kid, you didn't have no choice but to listen, or you gonna get some swole up lips.
yeah, no, I got put in the
Pull up
corner.
fast from
if
picking your own
anything,
switch.
But I don't even ever remember being put in the corner, to be honest. So, honestly,
Oh, you right, Trevor. Go pick your own switch. And then what make you even madder when you come back with a switch? Oh no, that ain't the right switch. Go get a different one.
That was such a psychological torture whenever you were picking your own switch. I was like, oh, well, that one's too big. That one's going to break my butt. Or that one's too little. That one's going to piss them off. I don't know which one to pick.
the little ones hurt. That's what I heard.
Hey, well, we had a
Mr.
weeping
Stick.
willow tree in the yard. Do y'all know what a weeping willow is?
Yeah, I heard one.
Yep.
Well,
Oh, look here. You went out there and got that weeping willow limb, and the switch wasn't even big as your finger, you know. But they hit you one time, and that jerk will wrap around you and smack you like 4 times on one smack.
That's nuts. So what was besides having to get the switch, what was everybody's like relationship with their dad? If you guys don't mind like answering. Because I know me and
I'm sorry.
Before.
Say
What
that
did
one
you-
more time.
I was just finna say, what did you ask? I couldn't hear.
Sorry. If you guys don't mind answering, like, what was your relationship with your dad? Because I know me and Dave were talking about that the other day, and he has a great relationship with his father, and versus mine, which is non-existent at this moment. So, And I know Shane.
Are you talking me as far as Dave goes?
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you a funny story. I mean, my dad was a good dad. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But me and my brother, I lived on a dairy farm, and every morning I had to get up. There was 9 children. I had to get up, go milk cows at 4:30 in the morning, and then we had to hang clothes up on the line, and sure enough, had to be dressed and ready to go by the time the bus got there, right?
Yeah.
Well, me and my brother got in a fight, hanging the clothes up on the clothesline. Boy, I was showing my behind and all that, and my mama said, "Get in here and get dressed. You better hope there's blood coming through them pants you showing out like this. If it ain't, you better get your tail on that school bus." I walked inside and my mama said, "Oh my God." There was literally blood coming through my pants where I got my ass beat with a bamboo stick.
Damn.
Anybody else?
Mine was pretty good. My dad's a Marine, a 2nd Battalion Recon Marine. So, but he also worked a lot of nights.
Gotcha.
But he was a good dad. My dad now is actually my stepfather. I don't really talk about my bio, but he was a good dad. It took me a long time to realize that he was actually a really good dad because he was never around. Whenever he was home, he was sleeping. Whenever he wasn't home, he was at work, either working his night job or taking care of my mom. We barely saw him, and it wasn't until I got older, my little brother got older, until we realized, oh shit, he's actually like a really, really good dad. But some things have changed in the past 4 or 5 months, and my dad and I don't have a relationship anymore, and I don't have a relationship with my mom either.
Gotcha.
But I mean, either way, my dad was a damn good dad. I hopefully I can be exactly like him and keep the relationship with my kids the way I kept my relationship with him.
Yeah, that's the dream, honestly.
Oh, well, and Trevor, I feel you, because what I didn't tell you, my dad was an Air Force pilot. If you look at my bio, that's why I fly planes and helicopters now, because my dad was an Air Force pilot. He retired from the Air Force. When he died, that was the only thing I got, the flag, where they folded the flag up and, handed it to me,
Oh, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, like I said, my dad's a Marine. And but he never talks about his stuff. I wanted to follow in his footsteps and go into the Marine Corps myself, but I could pass the PT examination, which is a physical training for those of you who don't know. So I did. I passed all of it with flying colors. I got 100 on it, which is like really hard to freaking do. And then when it came time to take the ASVAB test, I got like 5 points below, and I was like, okay, I'll take it again in a couple of months. I ended up failing it again. I'm horrible at tests, so it's just kind of shot myself down. And then my brother said that he was joining, got in. And I was like, well, shit.
So now, if your kids fail at a test when they're older, Trevor, like, what are you gonna say to them? Like, how are you gonna learn from your mistakes of putting yourself down and kind of pass that along, like, to hopefully?
Well, I mean, if they want to end up joining and serving, then they're gonna have my 100% support. Yeah. If they end up failing it, going away from it like I did, then that's going to be their choice. I'm going to stand behind them 100%, just like my parents did with me. Yeah. I'm not going to force them and be like, no, you're going to keep on taking this test till you get in. No, I'm not going to be that kind of parent. Like, whatever they want to do, that's what they want to do. I'm going to support it 100%. I'll do what I can to help.
I don't know if you've seen earlier in the comments, I was born late in life. Whenever I was born, my daddy was 55. So he retired as an Air Force pilot. Well, then after he retired, he flew a crop duster. And that's what he done. He pushed me to go to the Air Force, and I couldn't make the decision whether I wanted to go in the Air Force or if I wanted to do firefighter. Well, I wound up choosing firefighter, and now I'm a pilot. So it wound up working out for the best in both worlds,
So, I got to throw in here. My father was also military, and I think what you'll find if you look at it is boomer era. A lot of them were very hardcore into military, especially Vietnam era, and coming off of the tail of World War II.
Yeah.
My father was United States Navy SEAL. He did 2 tours in Vietnam, and there's there's some crazy backstory to some of that too, because he came out of the military, tried to do law enforcement, was a U.S. Marshal, and he was on a illegal substance sting and was fired upon. Got hit in the face and it bounced off his cheekbone and came out right in front of his ear on the same side. My father's response was to dump an entire magazine, 7 round from a rather significant caliber. Drop mag, reload, and put an additional one into him. And when asked why he kept on going, he said because he kept moving.
Jesus.
That's a serious fight or flight mode.
Yeah. That's all that.
My father retired from that situation, became a bill collector and a biker. So culminate all of that together, he raised a very unique individual. Because I've seen all walks of life. I respect the military for what it's done, and what it still continues this day to do for us, the citizen, and the sacrifices they make. Those sacrifices, it doesn't matter how old you are, should never be forgotten. And that's, I say that because I did spend a lot of time around veterans. I spent a lot of time with my father, and being a veteran, one of the things we actually did together, it's a huge memory for me, was take the run down to Washington, D.C. for Rolling Thunder, which is the run to the Vietnam Wall. In the year that I went down, there was 132,000 people that went through that parade. It took almost 8 hours to fulfill the parade. And I also got to see the entirety of the Vietnam Memorial, the wall, which is a really spiritual type of connection, very emotional connection to see that.
Yeah.
If you ever have the opportunity, go see it, go walk and just feel that energy. It is unique. And Gonzo, you're right. I had a very close relationship with my father. The flip side to that coin is, though,
yeah,
I can count on one hand how many times I've spoken to and seen my biological mother. So what most people nowadays experience, I know from the other side of that coin.
Yeah.
You know, and that is why I had the relationship with my father I did.
Well, and see, being a military kid, that is the one thing I absolutely regret in life. Not being a military kid, but the discipline and whatever that was showed to me. Whenever I got older and chose my career, I put my career first. That's why I don't have kids, because I put my career first instead of having a family and then put my career. I made my career the number one priority. So that's why I never had kids, because my career took priority over children, you know.
And that's just a walk of life, you know. Jeez. Noah, have anything to add, or?
Yeah, I mean, my father was always there. Growing up, we went, mountain biking together. Had a lot of good memories doing that. A couple of bad memories, but
Sorry, I fall on a mountain bike too. But
I know. It was when I was young. One day, I had an accident in my pants, and it was kind of a long trip to get out there,
gotcha.
and we didn't stop, and I didn't go to the bathroom. So then, when we got on the bike, kind of all came out.
Oof.
My dad got really mad about that, and I got a whole bunch of crap about that all the way home, and then in the bathtub, and yeah.
Oh man.
But I mean, it was pretty good. And then when I turned 18, my father divorced my mom and moved out, and kind of became like he wasn't a dad as kind of like this guy that I would,
That's right.
I would ask for help. He would want money, back. Oh, you gotta pay this and that, and I'll help you out with this. Like, can you be a dad?
Yeah.
I was homeless, and he fucking wanted to charge me $1,000 a month for rent. Not even, help me out, get me back on my feet.
Yeah.
And doesn't talk to me anymore now. Had me help my grandfather, and then my grandfather ended up passing, and he told me that, and now he doesn't even talk to me. So
Yeah.
there's some feelings behind that.
Yeah, no,
On a different note, my work just texted me and wanted to know if I was good for delivery and pickup tomorrow. I just sent them a message talking about, well, it's Father's Day. What do you think?
Yeah, no. Noah, I get that. Because one of the realest things my dad really said to me after, kind of like, I grew up, and let's take this as an example. I was excited because, I was about to be a father, and I wanted to tell him because our relationship was okay at the time. And he said pretty much that I don't want to be excited. You're making a mistake. Blah, 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 all this. And that just was like, I just wanted to be like, F you, dude, and then when I finally did have my son, he was all excited, wanted to be called G-Pa and be there for him and everything, and I can count on one hand how many times he's actually seen my son since then, and that was 7 years ago. And he ended up moving out of state, not even saying goodbye, and I saw him breaking a very early promise in my son's life, where he obviously didn't understand what was going on because he's less than a year old at that point. So I definitely took it into consideration, and to protect my children and my family, I decided that I'm not going to have those broken promises that were said to me go down to my kids. So that's one thing that I've learned from having not a great dad, but I'm not a great dad. So the realness, Noah, for me, I understand that.
Well,
it's rough.
You got to also think on the other side of the picture. My dad died.
Yeah.
I didn't have kids. So I kind of feel like I let him down because he wanted grandkids, but I never give him any.
I understand that too.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's crazy how far we try to go to make our fathers proud for...
Ain't that the truth?
For what? For our own kind of pat on the back, or what? Because, I mean, these are the men that we're supposed to look for answers and to learn how to be.
Hey, Gonzo.
Yeah, what's up, Shane?
I got a bad echo. I'm gonna back out and come back in.
No problem. Is anybody else having an echo? Because this sound system, we're trying to figure it out.
I'm not.
You're not
I'm okay.
Okay.
None here.
Do you mind if I interject for a moment?
Hang on just a second. Perry, what's up?
Oh, I was just saying no echo here, no echo.
Okay, what's up, Dave?
I want to say that what you were just touching base on, this from my perspective. Please understand, I'm saying that specifically my perspective. I want to say it is how you perceive your relationship with, in this case, your father. And I say that with respect to the fact that I personally have tried to walk in that man's shoes because of the pride that I had in him.
Yeah.
Because he was the parent on basically both sides of the parent situation for me.
Yeah.
You know, so I did have a deep relationship with him. And don't get me wrong, there was a 2-year stretch, dude, after I graduated high school, I didn't talk to my father. Like, I went off and I did my own thing. I was trying to figure out who I was.
Yeah.
And it took a phone call from him. He happened to catch me at a buddy's house. And he was like, hey, I just wanted to check to see if you were alive. And it made me stop and realize, dude, that 2 years had gone since I had talked to him. And it made me step back for a second, kind of like, okay, wake up. You know what I mean? Like, what are you doing? You know, so, and pairing that with all of the, but even pairing that with all of the memories of my father and my relationship with him, I was proud to call him my father.
Yeah.
You know, which it's, again, like your situation, a lot of people experience it from that end. You know, and what your situation is like. And I don't take anybody's situation for granted. Everybody has their own history with everything they go through. And where I can relate is my relationship with my mother is almost identical to how yours and your father's is.
Yeah.
She made a lot of promises to be in my life and was never there. You know, and given that being the situation, you know, I see it from the opposite of the same side.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
I get that. I completely get that.
So that was my rant. Sorry.
No, it's all good.
I mean, I got to talk about it as well. My mom said that she was not going to act like her mother whenever she became a grandparent and stuff like that. She was a parent, my wife and I. But it turns out she wanted me to parent and my wife to parent her way and the highway. Like, it's crazy. That's one of the reasons why her and I don't talk anymore, because of that.
Yeah.
But it's just, it's crazy how your parents, not yours, parents, like everybody's parents, think that they can do that to their kids and tell them exactly how to parent, but everybody's got to go through their own life exactly how they see fit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just makes it very hard whenever you got your parents in your ear doing something like that. It's kind of hard.
Yep, that's why I just.
That's
keep
true.
talking my ear.
That's very true.
I don't really talk to my stepdad because he thinks he's in a state. He thinks if he went himself, there's nobody else but himself. It's kind of stupid.
Your stepfather?
Yeah, my stepfather.
Gotcha. Like, so how does it feel to have a stepfather, Ryan?
I didn't really talk to him. Only go there for Christmas, and that's about it. Or for a big holiday. Or I just to be myself. I don't really talk to him at all, really.
Gotcha.
I have a real dad too. He's still alive too.
And how's your relationship with him, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, my stepfather or my real dad? My real dad. What are you talking
Your
about?
biological dad.
Oh, really good, really good. Behind with my stepdad.
Gotcha. Hey,
My parents been divorced since I was 13.
really? How'd that
Yeah.
affect you? Like, was it weird having this guy come in and start to try and be your father, or did he not try?
He acted like he was a boss,
Yeah.
and he wanted to fight me for no reason, and I knocked him down.
Well,
But dude, fuck around and find out.
yeah. No,
You're gonna play stupid games and win stupid prizes. He was yelling at me for dumb shit I didn't even do at his house. Like stealing alcohol out of his refrigerator when I was 13 years old, but never did.
you know, some guys I feel like are threatened by the stepkid, and also I feel like the stepkids, and I don't know, but I feel like it would be a big change in having your dad there for all these years, and then all of a sudden, because you don't know the background working of what's going on, and
That's a fact.
Yeah, it is.
and just like getting this new person who's there, and either they're trying to be big buddy with you, and you're kind of like, hey dude, I'm already got a dad.
Yeah, but my mom cheated on my dad twice.
Jeez. So, but you know what I mean?
And I can't stand his mom because his mom will go after me and he talk shit behind my back when I'm not even there on the phone
See,
with her kids.
and then that's why the
She's
relationship
in her 90s.
and that's why the relationship isn't there, and that's unfortunate because, you know, it should be another father figure that you should be looking up to, who's like, you can look at this person and be like, hey, this is another person who has my back, you know. Not, I don't got one dad, and you know, some douche who treats me like crap. You should be like, hey, I got my two dads, you know. I got my biological dad, I got my stepdad, and that is awesome. You know what I mean? I got two guys that are behind me 100%, got my back, and that's how it should be.
Yeah, she.
So, and I missed that.
What?
I don't know what happened just now.
So, can you hear me?
I
Yeah, go ahead.
yes, clearly, actually.
So, his mom's like a stepgrandma me, but I don't look at it like that anymore.
Well, I'm glad that you're out of that situation, because I wouldn't want to be in that situation.
Same with my stepdad too. He was around. I mean,
Gotcha.
and my dad got on him about it one day.
What was that, Ryan? It's kind of choppy.
My stepdad was being really rude to me one day,
Yeah.
and my real dad got on him about it, like cussed him out and everything like that, and he stopped finally. But I still don't look at him as his stepdad.
Yeah, no. Sometimes there's just another guy who's just there. So,
That's I was gonna say that's another situation I'm also familiar with on both sides of the fence.
yeah.
I had I actually had two different stepmothers, and I had two different stepfathers.
I had a stepmom at one point. I didn't like her either because, for example, if I got sick, I had to go to school. But if her son got sick, he could stay home.
Yeah, that's not fair. You shouldn't be treating the other child, especially in the relationship that you chose. You shouldn't be treating the other child any different.
Well, it's also back in the day. When they broke up, they were getting back together.
Yeah.
And if they did, she's using you for gas money. And he didn't believe me until the last minute. I said, dude, she's using you for gas money. You need to stay away from her.
That's nuts. So, we're about, wow, we're a lot closer to 7 o'clock than I thought.
I will say too that I've also had the opportunity and the blessing of being able to be a stepfather,
Yeah.
which in truth was a beautiful counterbalance to my experience.
Yeah.
Like I've always been told, you be treated how you want to be treated. If you have nothing good to say, don't say it at all. But my people don't understand.
Exactly.
I agree with that 100%. Well said.
Trevor, I dropped you a follow too. If you want to follow me back.
Yeah, I got you.
Ryan never stops.
TikTok never stop.
So, Perry, would you like to add anything?
Perry's here. I've been listening to it, and I feel like the outcast. And just like when I was in elementary school, middle school, I felt like the outcast because my parents were together up until my mom passed away in 2018.
Yeah.
And yet my dad's still with her. So, you know, all my friends, when I was younger, their parents were divorced, and they always told me, oh, I'm so lucky, I'm so lucky. I'm like, what are y'all talking about? So, like, it made me feel like an outcast. It made me kind of feel like my parents were supposed to get divorced because everybody else did it. Everybody else's parents were getting divorced. But, you know, at the same time, my dad, because he was there and my mom was so strong and my dad was so strong, my dad was gone all the time. He did what he had to do to make sure we had everything that we needed / wanted. I had a good life. There was times that were rough, and like I didn't realize it till I got older that the times were rough. I just knew back then that sorry, I dropped the pan. I'm grilling burgers at the same time. I just knew back then that hey, I'm kind of not getting the stuff that I want, you know. So yeah, I ain't gonna lie, I was spoiled. I was a mama's boy, but my dad, you know, he was, like I said, he was gone so much. Every time he had a chance to be home, if I was playing baseball or whatever, he felt bad. He wasn't there to see me hit my first home run.
Yeah, no.
The man felt so bad that the next game he got to make, he come up to the fence before I went up to bat. He was shoving money through the fence, and he says, hit one out. Hit one out.
There's some
and I felt bad.
Right?
I felt bad because I didn't hit a home run, but he just wanted to see me do it.
Yeah, I mean, like that comes down to dad guilt too. I feel like every one of us who are fathers, we have that internal dad guilt, and it's rough on us, you know. So I feel like that was him feeling that dad guilt and wanting to like be like, you can do it, Perry. You know what I mean? Like, I believe in you, boy. You know?
And that's it. That's all it was.
Yeah.
You know, he wanted to see it, but
and it's not
at the same time, it made me feel bad that I didn't get him that. And then turn around in the next game, he wasn't there, and I busted him. But you know, it is what it is. He was there to the crowd of work. And
Perry.
that's what I try to.
Perry, you sound far away, and that bird is right close next to you.
That sounds like a sterling.
Noah, this is why you're good at trivia.
Mockingbird. Sorry, y'all.
Oh, it could be
Like
a
I said,
mockingbird too. Yep.
Grilling burgers, and I left my phone in the chair, and I walked away, and I had the earbud in. But yeah, like.
I mean, you're grilling burgers and you didn't invite any of us? That's rude.
Yeah, come on.
Sorry, everybody, sorry.
What the hell?
But yeah, it's...
Barbecue.
Send me that invite. 16 hours takes me to drive down there.
Well, come on, I'll keep one semi-warm for you.
All right.
I was going to say, I'm not offended. I'm all the way over on the East Coast, so by the time that burger got to me, it'd be cold as hell.
When I get there.
Yeah, no. But that dad guilt is nuts. Trust me. My dad guilt happens when I get frustrated because during the week, you know, get up, kids go off to school. I have to bring preschoolers to school, and I'm there with the little one, oldest one, and you know, by the time they come home, I'm already out at work and I'm there till after bedtime. So the most time that I spend with them in the morning is less than 10 minutes, really, with all like the running around that we have to do with anything like that. So my dad guilt hits me hard because like on the weekends when I'm, you know, trying to have fun and do things with them, and I get overwhelmed, and I'm a loud person. Sometimes I yell. Most of the time I yell, actually. I don't know. But I feel bad because I feel like either I don't see them or I'm trying to discipline them because they're acting up. But I mean, like, kids will be kids. So, like, sometimes I let it go, but when it gets too much, you know, dealing with all the noise all the time isn't fun for me. Another thing is, like, I don't know if I said this before earlier or not, but like I always looked for other people when I was like growing up, like anybody who was an father figure in a sense. Either it was a teacher that I looked up to, or even my friends' parents, or anything like that. I've always looked for that because I was always seeking, even now, always seeking that father figure. And like, I don't know, like, do you guys have any advice that you would say to like a new father, or like someone who's expecting to be a father or wants to be a father?
Yeah, actually, I'm gonna throw you a little bit, bro. Every moment you do have a chance to be a part of their lives, take it.
Yeah.
Okay. Even if that means, bro, getting down with your littlest one and playing with their toys with them on the floor. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
take those moments. And I say that with respect to the fact that being involved with your child helps them to understand that you're there. And it also helps them to understand that, yeah, you may have to discipline sometimes because they're doing something they're not supposed to do. You know, but the other side of that coin is that you're there spending time with them as well. And they do remember that. They will remember that.
Yeah.
You know, and even from a stepfather standpoint, like I said, my opportunity was a blessing in comparison to my experience with my own step parents. And even though I've been divorced for a year and a half, I still have a strong like communication relationship with my stepdaughter because she looked up to me, and at a very critical time in her life,
Yeah.
when she was discovering who she was as a human,
Yeah.
I was the one that was a part of her life.
Yeah.
And I am proud of the fact that she has turned into an amazing human being with a really good set of morals and work ethics.
You get that sense
Like
of
she,
pride, too.
for a kid that just turned 20 years old this year, she's got 2 jobs. She owns her own car. She pays rent. She pays all her own bills, from insurance to cell phone to car, everything.
Wow.
Like, she's completely responsible with it, but she still takes time to go out and be a kid, like be a young adult.
Yeah.
But she makes sure that she like follows like certain outlooks on things. She keeps herself out of trouble. She doesn't drink. She doesn't smoke. You know what I mean? Like, she's just an overall good kid. And when I met her, she was right on that fence of being able to turn into a kid that was going nowhere.
Yeah.
And a kid that was going somewhere. And she's flat out admitted to me, my influence is why she does what she does. That is a super huge proud papa moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and to still have that relationship with her even after the divorce, that means a lot to me.
That's
You know?
good. I'm glad that
So-
you have that.
Being there for them, no matter what, brother, makes the biggest difference in the world. Whether it's discipline or whether it's just, hey, you know what, me, let's go get a freaking ice cream and just laugh and joke with each other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even if it's something simple like that or anywhere in between. You know what I mean? Make them feel included in your world.
Yeah.
And it will change. It will change a lot of their perception of you very quickly. If you catch where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
That all sounded great in my head, by the way.
It sounded good to me.
Me too. Sounds good to me too. You nailed that.
Yeah.
Totally did.
Now we just need Morgan Freeman to redo it. Read it.
Oscar worthy. Just needs Morgan Freeman. No.
Amen, Perry.
I get it.
I don't know about Morgan Freeman, but I do have a friend of mine that looks wise, intelligence wise. He actually learns to control his speech inflections enough. I could bring up Peter Griffin into this situation.
I mean, is he really a good dad?
What, Peter Griffin?
Yeah.
Listen, the fact that I have a friend that I've been trying for a few years to get him to go as Peter Griffin for Halloween, because he could play the part to the T. Glasses, haircut, and all.
Oh my god, that's good.
I'm sorry, squirrel.
I always thought American Dad was better dad.
Or
He was.
I mean, Hank Hill from King of the Hill.
I mean, come on. He works at the CIA. He's there. He goes out, does fun things.
Stan is a terrible father. He's a terrible father.
So I would like to point out to all of you, Saturday Night Live, when I was growing up, did a skit with a character called It's Pat. And you never knew whether Pat was male or female. Nothing about them, right?
Yeah.
Roger is the modern day It's Pat.
Roger is one of my favorite characters on American
And
Dad.
Roger is absolutely one of my favorite characters, dude. I laugh everything he does.
100%. Ah, you crushed my nuts.
Roger.
Hey, I'm Perry. You should go in the voice ads and you'll be good at it.
Sorry, I was doing the dishes, but I was sitting here laughing my ass off this whole time.
So I do have to tell you too that my biological younger sister, my kid sister,
Yeah.
if you could envision Stewie from Family Guy in a Meg form, that is my sister through and through. Like, I'm not.
Does that mean you're Chris?
I'm telling you right now, that kid, my sister, if she had the opportunity, would take over the world, and I would just let it happen.
But every single time you say her name, you have to go making like a giant speech and just so.
Did you just fart?
No, that was my mom.
Yeah, why can't we leave me alone right now, guys?
He queefs, guys. He queefs.
Keep it down, Ryan. This is going on YouTube, by the way, guys. So if anybody, just saying, this is the first episode of my podcast, Bob's Voice Pod. I named it after my biggest influence and my biggest father figure is my grandfather. So that's the reason why I'm trying to start the podcast going. So thank you guys all for joining in and being here. What else? You had me with that American Dad comment though, Noah. You really had me on that one. Got me all messed up.
Hey, John, what about Hank Hill? You like him? Hank Hill, the dad?
What was that?
You like Hank Hill as a dad?
Hank Hill? I wasn't a big King of the Hill fan, to be honest.
Dang it, Bobby.
Well, I feel
Damn it, Bobby.
that was great. That was great, Trevor. Thank you.
So I have to tell you, my ADHD mind. Every time I'm at work and somebody asks to swap a propane tank, I immediately am in my head with, my name's Hank Hill. I sell propane and propane accessories every single time.
Fair enough.
Yeah, my aunt's friend, he straight up sounds like Boomhauer. Like, to the T. Like, literally.
That's great.
It's okay. My old manager before he got fired. Y'all remember the movie Grown Ups?
Yeah.
Where
Yep.
on saying maze, like amazing. They'll be like maze, amazing. That was, I swear to God, that was exactly like my manager. Every time he talked, he said, "Oh, that was awesome, dude. That was amazing." I'll be like maze. He's like,
So, how many of us have small kids, like little? Because Dave, you said your stepdaughter was 20?
So my stepdaughter is 20. My biological daughters are 11 years old is my oldest, and 9 years old is my youngest. But my youngest turns 10 in August.
Oh man.
My youngest is...
She's almost 10.
My youngest is 6, and my oldest is 11.
6 and 11.
I've got 2 4-year-olds.
2 4-year-olds. Oh man, bless you.
But unfortunately,
We adopted, and in the process, my wife got pregnant. So that was a huge blessing. That's actually them in the background hollering and screaming because we're about to go swimming.
Wow. That's what luck, huh?
Yeah, and she just told me that she's pregnant again. So I think we're going to be having a 3rd kid.
Congratulations, Trevor. Holy cow, man.
someone's been busy.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a little.
You need one more to catch up.
Oh yeah.
What does burnt popcorn and Trevor have in common?
What?
No.
2 things that didn't pull out in time.
Oh my God, that was good. My wife just looked at me like, "What the hell is
man.
going on?"
You guys are ridiculous. All right, reel it in. There's ladies in the chat, guys. Ladies in the chat.
I'm sorry, I couldn't resist.
It's okay. That's a good one.
No, Dave, that was really good. I couldn't believe that. That was awesome.
Right?
Oh man. So yeah, 2 4-year-olds, Trevor. Holy cow, man. They keep you busy, huh?
Yeah, they definitely keep me and my wife busy. They're ready to go swimming. They're sitting there playing on the patio now. They're like, "Are we going or what?"
Well,
But I'm actually about to hop off
for
for
you,
you guys.
dude.
Happy Father's
For
Day.
you.
Gonzo, happy for you, brother. I'll join in later on this evening if you're live.
of course. Thank you for joining in and sharing what you guys have to share.
Y'all have a good evening.
Trevor, happy Father's
Happy
Day, bro.
Father's Day, Trevor.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, you too, man.
Happy Father's Day, Trevor.
Appreciate it, guys.
And he, oh man, he left. Dang, I was gonna say this is for Trevor being an awesome dad.
Trevor, who needs birth control when you have kids?
Right?
Yeah, no, me and Rini call them our little CDs for chicken blockers because yeah, that's what they do.
Pretty soon he's going to have his own assembly line.
So I can't. That's too funny.
You make a comment like that, and all I can hear in my head is my father going, "Listen, go do this because that's what kids are for." my own father's words coming into my head like that. Like, no, I'm not going to do that. You go do that. That's what kids are for. Like, in his voice. That was amazing. Thank you.
Oh, man. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like everybody tells me that to hold on and like spend time little now, you know what I mean? Because once, you know, they grow up fast, and I don't know if I'm personally ready for that, you know, and
I had a messed up dream last night.
you had a what? Messed up dream?
Yeah.
Does it have to do with Father's Day?
Oh, this is no.
All right, let's keep that for another live.
Yep.
But
I wasn't sure where you were going with that. I'll be honest.
Oh, trust me. I'll tell you later.
All right.
Once we get off.
So pretty much like, what was I saying? Oh man, I'm terrible at this. Sorry. So pretty much like, I don't think I'm ready to see, like, I obviously I have my oldest, who's going to be 13 this year, that I've seen grow up from a small child up to 13, and that's nuts to me because he's almost as tall as me. And then I got my second oldest, who's going to be 7 this year. But like, to go into those teenage years, I don't know what that's like. Perry, you have older kids too, right?
Got them. You name the age group, I got it. 21, 17, 21, 17, 16, 21, 18, 16, 13, and 10.
Jeez. Man, how are those teenage years?
Well, they're boys, so they're easy. You know, you just let them stay in their room, and you call them out when you need something done.
And always knock.
My
right?
oldest done got
And
to
always
a point.
knock.
He's bigger than me.
Ooh.
He's bigger than me, so he can kind of out wrestle me now, just because he's got like dumb strength.
Yeah.
But I told him, I said, you grab them boxing gloves out of your closet when you're ready, and he ain't done it yet.
That just means he's not ready.
That's right. He ain't ready.
And
You know, please understand the fact that I struggle with my year of birth because I am as much Gen X as you can get.
yeah.
The way that my generational tree went, both of my grandfathers were greatest. My father was Boomer. Dude, I was Gen X.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just missed it by a year, but I grew up in that exact combination.
Yeah.
So you guys saying that, like, you know, grab the boxing gloves, you know, whenever you're ready and everything. My father and I got into exactly one fist fight in my entire life. And that fist fight was brutal. We both walked away bleeding, bruised. I took out 2 of his teeth. Like, it was bad. Okay. And it was all over my ex-stepmother. And she crossed a line with me, and I dropped the infamous C word. And yeah, it was on like Donkey Kong from there. However, out of that situation, my father literally looked at me and said, "You stood up for what you believed in, even against me. I will never take a swing at you again. I will never take a swing at you again."
Yeah.
What I also want you to realize is at that point, I really honestly believed that if he got that pissed off at me again, he'd throw hot lead instead. I never got into an argument with my father again. And I more than proved in a fisticuffs battle. I could keep up with him, and that's saying something. Because, like I said, he was a Navy SEAL. Like,
Yeah.
Oh shit!
yeah. You know, I grew up fighting. Like, my generation wasn't, I'm just gonna unfriend you. We unfriended each other with, you know, fist fights, and, you know, or if we had an issue with each other, and it came to blows, that ended it, unless it was brutal enough not to be able to do so. You know.
Yeah.
So,
Dave, I'm
you
about
know-
to ruin your moment.
What's that?
Because as much as you thought you kept up with Daddy, Daddy had that love for his son, and some ounce of him held back. Just so you know.
Listen, I'm not going to disagree with you one bit. I will absolutely agree with you on that.
Yeah.
Regardless of anything, considering how this fight went and whatnot. I'm not talking like we walked away with a fat lip and a bloody nose. No, I mean, both of our eyes were black. My eyebrows were swollen. My lips were swollen. His cheek lips and cheekbones and everything were swollen. We beat the snot out of each other. And yes, I still agree with you. He held back. But I still was at that point convinced he'd throw hot lead the next time. And my father was just crazy enough. I believe he would have done it.
Gotcha.
So,
Gotcha.
at this point in
But
the
I will-
chat, hang on, Dave.
Go.
I'll let you finish in
Oh,
just
right,
1
right.
second.
No,
Just
go
put
ahead.
in
Go
the
ahead.
chat,
Go
if
ahead.
Any,
I'm good.
any ladies want to hop up and speak upon their fathers, I'd love to hear the aspect from a daughter to father relationship as well, not just us guys, because I know.
Ted Nori, come on up.
Yeah,
Baby, come on
Nori,
up.
Rini, you guys want to speak about it, you can come up. Because not only did dad shape us, you know, guys, but they also have little girls that look up to them and everything. No, I need therapy first. Don't we all? Don't we all? But
Can I point out some irony in this?
what's up?
We're inviting women into the chat, talking about potential daddy issues. Do you not see the irony behind this? Please,
Dave,
am I the only one?
I get it. But
I'm just saying, bro. There may be a comical undertone behind that. Okay.
yeah, of course. But we all it's hot in here, I'm sorry. No problem, Nori. Whatever you're comfortable with. No, but you know, speaking about, you know, fathers and daughters, I mean, I got two, and you know, in my aspect, it's not that I love my daughters more than my sons at all, because I love all my children equally. It's the fact that it's a different type of, you know, I don't know, bond like that I have with my daughters. Like I have such a protective bond with them a little bit more. You know what I mean? Because I can't even explain it, and I'm not trying to sound like a typical masculine man about it, because that's not who I am. If you guys know me, you know what I mean. But like I will protect those girls with my life, and like I feel like my boys will do okay with not. They wouldn't need me to protect them, because they can kind of protect themselves, and I'll be there to back them up. You know what I mean? But I have that like don't touch my baby with my daughters. Like the protectiveness is
100%.
It's different, right? Like
Facts.
It's not that you.
It absolutely is.
And like I feel like a lot of people are like, oh, well, you're treating her differently because that's your little princess and blah blah blah. And
well,
it's just
boys, regardless of what this generation thinks,
yeah.
boys are different from girls.
Yes. Understandable.
That was very gracefully stated.
Well, I'm just saying, what he's speaking on, I absolutely feel it, and several comedic things went into my mind. Like when my son was born, I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll fight for you, buddy. But when my daughter was born, I'm like, yeah, I will dig a hole and have a shovel and alibis for you.
100%. I don't even need the alibi. Take me. I'll go freaking happily. Take me, because I trust
100%.
And it's that. Thank you for the heart me dating. I appreciate it. I don't know. Like I said, it was different. And thank you, Perry. Like I'm glad that I'm not the only one that kind of like feels that. And I know Trevor has one of each, so I feel like he has that too.
Bro, I think that any man that genuinely keeps a relationship with his children, has that sentiment when it comes to your daughters. You would move heaven and earth. You would destroy the world to keep them safe.
Yes.
You know, and the thing is that I gave that same extension, that same outlook to my stepdaughter too, and I still do. You know, because you kind of made the comment a few minutes ago, and I'm gonna devil's advocate it. You made the comment about your masculinity and everything.
Yeah.
There's two sides to that. Okay. Toxic masculinity is looked down upon. However, masculinity in itself is not toxic.
Yeah.
It's only toxic if you yourself are the toxic individual. Yeah. And I think the most profound question that has ever been put to me in life is if I was the type of person I wanted my daughters dating.
Yeah.
And from that point on, my entire outlook changed. And then from the first day when I was in that hospital room and I saw my oldest daughter for the first time, that's when that particular piece of the puzzle fit exactly where it was supposed to go. And I knew from that moment on, I don't care what consequences I face, that little girl is never going to get hurt. You know, and that's how I feel about both of my biological daughters and my stepdaughter. You want to call that toxic? I call that gentlemanly. I call that being a father. I call that being a dad.
100%.
You know what I mean? So, you know, don't think for a second, dude, that you're being, you know, like over guarding. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, that's what we do for our children. Yeah. You know, and even our boys. You know what I mean? I will admit I say that from the standpoint of the only boy child, if you will, that's ever been in my life has been my nephews. I don't have any sons of my own. Yeah. So I don't know 100% from that aspect. I just know what I went through with them. Mm-hmm. And in the case of actually one of them specifically, his father never was in the picture. I always was, even though I was never with his mother and I was never his stepfather. He was my nephew and I raised him as such. Yeah. You know, and he has his quirks, but he turned out to be a damn good kid.
That's awesome. That's really
you know, so that's the only way I can compare with that situation or adhere with that, sympathize, empathize. I suppose all those probably fit. Yeah. You know, but that's my whole understanding of it is yes, boys are easy in comparison to little girls. or even adult girls, like, you know, my stepdaughter, like, it showed me two different parts of life at the same time. It was really kind of cool to see, because I now have an idea of what I'm going to, I want to stress that, of what I'm going to go through with my younger daughters, both of my biological daughters. You know? So, sorry, I went off on a tangent again.
It's all good. It's all good. Thank you, Danny, for showing the love to everybody. I really appreciate that.
Thank you, Danny.
Yeah, so I completely agree with you. Is that I want them to find someone who's not gonna hurt them, and it's scary. And you know,
it is scary.
My favorite line is, oh man, what movie is it? Why am I drawing a blank right now? It's Finding Nemo. Jesus, why did it take me forever to do that? She's like, it's the point where Merlin was like, I promise that nothing ever will happen to him, and that's all this, and then Dory comes up. She's like, well, that's funny. If nothing never happened to him, then nothing would happen to him. And, you know, it made me think of like, yeah, we can protect our kids as much as we want, but if we protect them too much, then they're not going to be able to experience life, and then in that course, they're not going to be prepared for
that. Is a huge fact.
You know what I mean? And I feel like that's our roles as fathers, is to prepare them for the outside world. You know?
You can't wrap them in bubble wrap.
You can't.
You gotta let them scrape their knees and elbows.
Very much, very much. And,
yeah, my dad stole my kids.
Your dad stole your kids?
Yep. He took advantage of my mental health situation, and when we signed paperwork stating that give him temporary power of attorney, and ever since then he has not given back. He won't let me talk to him. He won't.
That's crazy. That's nuts. It sucks. That sounds like a worse situation.
I don't even know how to respond to that.
Who was that? Was that Royce?
Yeah.
Yep.
Royce, what you do is you step up, you get involved, you go, even if you don't feel or what they're saying is wrong about you, you step up and go through the things that you don't think you should have to. Go to some parenting classes.
It's not that. I need $20,000 to. I need $20,000 to take him to court to get my son back, and that's if the courts let me get him back.
Well, yeah. What I think Perry's saying is that if you want to, you need to essentially bend over backwards and do things that you wouldn't think that you need to do. Like he said, you know, go to the parenting classes and show that you're trying to, that you're not what was said, and move past the reason why they were taken from. You know what I mean?
And I understand where you're coming from, Perry. I understand what you're saying. But, yeah, I don't even think that'll help because at this point, I need an attorney.
Gotcha. That's rough. I couldn't imagine losing any one of my children. Oh, Perry can't hear anything. Try leaving and then coming back. That might help. Or shutting down TT altogether and then bringing it back up, because that happens to me a couple times. No, it's scary, because being someone who was taken from my my mother, Uh, I that's my biggest fear is having my kids away from me, and I couldn't imagine.
It hurts.
Yeah, no, I don't doubt that because like
Yes, it does.
just being away from my kids sometimes it's like, you know, thanks for the heart meat tree. I appreciate you.
When me and my ex broke up, she got with somebody that put him in the hospital with a TBI, traumatic brain injury, and a broken leg.
Put your kid in the hospital?
Yep.
Why is he still alive?
Oh man, no. They wouldn't be breathing. They would not be breathing.
I was in Colorado,
No.
and I live in Phoenix, and at that time I was in Colorado. By the time I got to him, he was already in jail.
Oh, I would have gotten in jail for something, and then freaking he wouldn't be alive. I'm telling you that right now. Dude, you just got me mad for you. Oh man.
So I'm waiting for him. I'm waiting for him to come out of jail, and it's on like Donkey Kong.
Bro, let me know. I'll be there with popcorn to watch, because I'd pay you to hit him. Like, that's nuts. That I don't understand. Like, you hear all these stories of people hurting kids. Like, come on,
Right?
you know, like how can you do that? That's another thing that boggles my mind, especially like with me looking at my kids, and then the relationship that I see multiple people. Like my coworker has someone who's I'm not saying hurt children or anything like that, but like pretty much abandoned. Like, I don't understand. I can't fathom just.
And it's all up of a lie because the dude that my girl was seeing, I know his cousin, and his cousin basically said, if you don't have S with me, I'm gonna tell my cousin that you raped me.
That's nuts. Yeah, no, I didn't. I don't understand how people can do anything to hurt a child, no matter physically or emotionally or like like I said, I can't look down at my kid and just turn away and walk away. You know what I mean? So it boggles my mind when I see these fathers that deal with that or do that, you know. There's actually a situation with my brother right now. He's a young father, and you know, I'm trying to help him and figure stuff out, and you know, I love him to death. Thank you for the canned hearts. Love it. And he's dealing with stuff with his ex-girlfriend now. He hasn't been able to see his kid. And it's rough because like I kind of want to like shake him awake and be like, listen, you can't give up. Like you have your kid out there. You know what I mean? Like and it's not that I'm not disappointed in him in the sense of like, dude, you have me, who my dad was, you know, a POS. Then you have our other brother whose dad was an alcoholic, to the point where he still is. He was in a pancreatic coma. And when he came back out, he started drinking again and begged my other brother to get him something because his disease was that bad. Where my brother cut him off. I just talked to him before I came live today, my brother Noel, and he told me, he's like, oh, happy Father's Day. He's like, you know what's funny? I said that, you're the first one I said that to. I didn't even say it to my dad, nor did I say it to our his stepdad, which is technically my stepdad, but I don't talk to them, so some dude, whatever. But like, I look at my younger brother, who's the third one in our line, and I'm like, dude, you have a kid now. You need to have the responsibility to fight to see your kid if you want to see your kid. And if you're not gonna try because things are hard, then what do you expect? That things it's just gonna fall into your lap, and that's difficult because he is young, he's not experienced, he's still in that mindset of, you know, oh whatever man, you know, and sometimes I just want to knock some sense into him, and unfortunately, you know, you can't, and it sucks because like I see a bunch of people that like, oh yeah, my dad walked out, or you know, my dad wasn't there, or my dad acts like this, or my dad acts like that, you know, and people like um just makes me mad that like I feel like I can reach to this person and nothing is helping. And I don't know what kind of tangent I'm going on right now, but yeah, it's pretty much, it makes me mad because like I get frustrated. I'm sure you guys get frustrated. Dave, when your kids were younger, even younger, you got frustrated, but I don't see you as someone who's gonna walk away. You know what I mean? Like it. Being a dad is
that in itself is a different situation.
Mhm.
The thing is that I love my daughters to every ounce of my being. However, I have not physically seen my daughters in over 6 years. My ex and I can't even be in the same room.
Yeah.
Same with my ex.
To the best way I can put it, my ex was doing a certain a downward spiral substance while she was pregnant with both of my children, but I did not know it until almost the end of the pregnancy of my youngest daughter. To the point where my youngest daughter was born with hepatitis C because of my ex.
Jeez.
And again, that masculinity part, I cannot find it within myself to forgive my ex because she almost cost me both of my children in the most extreme way possible.
Yeah.
So now I go every couple of years and fight for, or every 2 years, and fight for every ounce of visitation and custody that I can possibly get.
I'm happy you do that.
But my state is not father friendly, so I have not had the greatest of luck. But I will say flat out that I do everything on my end to show that I'm fighting for my kids.
Good.
You know, so no, my decision to keep the distance as it is does not stem from my own want of the situation.
Yeah.
I keep my distance because my outrage over what my ex did makes it to where I do not trust myself to not react horribly. And however, don't, or when I say that, I don't want my daughters to experience a life with both parents not being in the picture.
Yeah.
I don't want them to know that. I don't want them to feel that.
It's a sacrifice that only you can feel.
Right. You know, the downside is though, I know that she poisons them against me in every way she can.
See, that's not fair because you can be spiteful as much as you want, but do not turn, like, because there might be a day, right? Might be a day that they come up, they're older, they try to have, they want to know you or whatever, and then when they find that out, it turns back on that person, where,
Right.
I don't know, like, I don't think I have an example in my life that can compare to that, but I completely understand, like, it hurts the children even more, because then once you find out the truth, you figure out that this one parent was lying to you the entire time. Now what? Now you don't have a relationship with the person that was actually the good guy, in a sense,
Right.
And that's rough.
The one, I do want to go out on a limb here and say that the one thing that hurts the most out of the entire situation, is that my biological sister keeps in contact with my ex and acts like she hates me just so that way she can keep tabs on my daughters for me.
Hey, it works though, right?
It's a very deceptive situation that thus far it does work. Okay. But my sister has not told my ex about my medical situation, because I don't want her to know. The thing is that my ex has stated that in the past, and this was even before I found out about my medical situation, she stated to my sister that she doesn't care whether I was dying. She never wants me to see my kids again.
That's not
Which tells me that even if she did know, she wouldn't even let me say goodbye to my children. You know what I mean? And that is a piece of pain that I live with and have not been able to get past. I don't think I'm ever going to get past.
I don't doubt that. I don't think I could get past that if that was to happen to me. That's a lot.
I don't wish it on anybody.
Oh yeah, no.
So it's... Holy shit!
Sorry, guys.
Hello, headphones.
Yeah, it takes a lot to be a dad, and it takes a lot to, I don't know, I guess just build yourself up into that role, no matter what background you come from. And, we sometimes get the crap end of the stick. And
The muffin, man.
we kind of live through it. I'm a muffin man.
Sorry, I couldn't help it.
It's all good. I've been trying to hold back from saying it this entire time. Every single time you came in, I was like, crap.
In truth, I actually realized just as I said it that I was not muted.
It's okay.
So, it's bro, I'm sorry if my experiences are like negative.
No. I'm good.
It's
Hey, Muffin Man, what's
I feel like I'm counterbalancing what you're talking about with negative situations, and I really am not intending to be.
No, but that's the whole thing about this entire thing, is that we do have negative experiences in being a father, as well as the loving and good ones, like I don't know where I was going with that. But you know what I mean, like it's life. It's life, and that's just how the cookie crumbles, so to speak, Depends on
I get it. And I would also like you to understand that no matter my experience in life, or actually including my experiences in life, I should say, it is what turned me into the man that I am. I'm not saying that I wish no, I'm sorry, that sounded better when I started. I don't want to ever go back and change what I've been through.
Yeah.
Because it is a reason why I am who I am. And why I hold on to the morals and the beliefs that I do. You know, and you and I have had some very in-depth conversations. You know, I, from a humble aspect, would like to believe that I'm a decent individual. And what I have with backup to that is the amount of people that are in my personal life that I am close to, and just how happy they are when I am able to actually spend time with them and hang out with them for a short tea, whether it's just for a couple hours or I'm around for a few days or whatever the case may be. You know, like these people, they in their own way show me that they're just happy I'm around. So you know, that's why I say from a humble aspect, I would like to think I'm a good man. You know, that is the outcome of thing that I've been through, both good and bad. You know, I will say too, however, the things they have in life, I don't wish on anybody. I really don't. You know, because they are painful. You know, not all of them were bad though. You know, it's even what I went through the 4 years that my father went through chemo and radiation after he got diagnosed with cancer, I could look at that as, you know, he was sick the whole time and it was horrible and I hated seeing it. Well, that part of it is true. But I also look at it as the fact that they told him in 2010 he wouldn't even see the holidays. And he made it all the way until January of 2014. You know, I got 4 years with that man that I wasn't even supposed to have. And my bond with him was unbreakable because I knew that my time was limited. I knew that I was on borrowed time. So I took the opportunity. I lost 2 jobs. I even had my license suspended at one point, although I got that back rather quickly. And everything during that 4 years because I would talk to my father every single morning. Every morning I would call him before I did anything else. And just from the inflections in his voice, I could tell where his spirit was for the day. And if his spirit was low, I'd call out of work. I didn't care. Because I knew that I wasn't going to get many more of those opportunities. And so I made every single memory I could with that man. You know, because I wanted to make sure that wasn't a regret on his end. And I wanted to make sure that at the end of my days, it wasn't a regret on mine either. And it's not a regret. And it wasn't a regret of his either. You know, I don't care about losing the jobs. Jobs come and go. You know, but you know, that was a willing sacrifice on my end because that was the only parental adult that I had in my life that never turned their back on me. And that includes both of my stepmothers, both of my stepfathers, and my biological mother. My father was the only one that never turned his back on me. You know? And so yeah, at the end, I did. I took every opportunity I could to make those memories. So that's why going with that is the fact that I have a positive outlook on that situation. even though that situation, from an outside, trying to take the standpoint of an outsider looking in at my own situation, that would have broken a lesser man. It really would have.
Yeah.
Because my father was always, he was the pillar in my life. The man was 6'1", 350 fucking pounds, and he was just a badass. You know, and by the end of it, he was 140 pounds, skin and bones. You know what I mean? Like that's a transition that is really, really heartbreakingly weird.
Yeah.
You know? But even knowing the pain that came out of that, I'd still do it again today if I had to. You know?
Yeah.
So I guess it's, you know, we all do go through things, and it does change our perception of how we deal with things as we go along.
Yeah.
You know, and that includes everything of being a father, how we are being a father, how we react to things as a father, whether it's for our children or about our children. You know, my ex has caused me to be uninvolved with my children's lives for so long at such an impressionable age that at this point, my biggest fear is I'm not going to be able to see them before my time runs out. And as much as that hurts, what I also don't want is for them to have the psychological damage of having their father come into their lives again after so much time, just to lose me again and to never be able to get that connection back. Yeah. And I say that with respect because I really, really fear the damage that would actually cause. So the fight I fight in my own head is the potential psychological damage of forcing my way back into my kids' lives, and then that having a set of consequences in itself, or go with what's going on. And from my end, which I've already sat down and done, although I keep adding to them, write letters to my daughters, explaining my side. And when my time comes, those letters will be delivered to my kids when they're old enough to understand.
Yeah.
You know, but I can tell you right now, dude, there is a lot of pain with that decision.
I can only imagine them. But I think we got about, I think we're gonna call it real soon. It's been 2 hours, so thank you, Dave. I really appreciate you sharing and coming on. And Noah and Royce, I appreciate you all for coming on and sharing your stories. And you know, I do want to end on like a lighter note for everybody. So
you've got Bill.
What is your favorite memory of being a dad? Mine would have to be the funniest joke that my son has ever said. He said the funniest things ever, and so has my daughter, and they've done great things. But one of my favorite memories, so it's not top tier, is I'm a big joke person. Dave, you know this. We've cracked jokes multiple times.
Absolutely.
And the funniest joke my son has ever said to me, he said to me, "Hey, Dad, why did the beaver eat wood?" I said, "Why?" And he said, "Because it was hungry," and then started cackling. And it just like, to me, it was just a full facepalm moment. So that is one that lives rent free in my head, and it will always be the funniest joke because it's so funny. It's true, but it's so funny. I don't even understand why, but he does have jokes like me. Okay, he has jokes like me, Rainey. 100%.
That's awesome.
And,
it hilarious in its own right.
Oh yeah, the best thing he ever said to his mother is he had, thank you, happy Father's Day, Casper, to you too. He said to his mother, he has a sensitive stomach, and we gave him some oranges, and I think he was, I want to say like 2, 3 at the time or something like that, and we thought he'd be okay with the oranges, so he had some oranges, and he ended up throwing up. Like, I forgot where. But he looks at his mom and says, "I'm sorry for throwing up." And she's like, "It's okay." And he's like, "I'm sorry because you gave me too many oranges." Like, put all the blame on her. Because she's the one that gave him more oranges. And he said he's sorry that you gave me too many oranges. This kid is a comedian, and I love him for it daily.
Hey, can we actually, brother? I feel inspired by that. I would like to share a positive moment with you.
Of course.
Well, literally right along the same lines. Not necessarily a funny joke. When my oldest daughter was born,
yeah.
And it's the only remaining picture I have of my father. It actually was the last picture that I was able to get with him. And it wasn't even me in the picture. It was my father.
That's awesome.
Almost a year before he passed.
Yeah.
It was my father sitting in the hospital room in the maternity chair with his firstborn granddaughter sitting in his lap, and wow, the happiness on his face. One of the strongest memories I have, because I was able to give him that experience before it was too late.
Damn, David got me crying now.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was one of the things that I wanted. My grandfather has been in and out since I was a little kid with medical issues, heart attack, bypass, and one of the things that I wanted him to experience was at least my first kid, and he got to experience my first 3, and it was amazing, and he loved them. And then unfortunately he did pass before my youngest was born, so that doesn't eat away at me as much, because I grew and understand and everything like that, but so he passed in 2021, and I can't remember, maybe Rini, maybe a couple months ago, my daughter went up, my third child went up to her and said, "I miss Papa and our grandpa," or something like that. And each of our grandparents have names. So for her side of the family, it was her grandfather and mom's side was Big Papa. Grandfather on her dad's side was Papa, and then I had my grandfather, who was my foster father. We called him Pep. So, but she, like I said, she was less than a year old, last time like they interacted or anything. But she said, I want Grandpa. And that's what I used to call him, is Grandpa. And she's like, who are you talking about, Papa? And she said, no, I'm talking about Grandpa. And she showed pictures of her grandparents and my grandfather out in Oregon, who was my biological grandfather. She showed him his picture, and she said no. And then when she finally showed her the picture of my grandfather who passed away, she's like, yes, that's who I miss. And I was just like, God damn it. I mean, I get that, because like as you were saying that, I literally flashed in my memory banks came up. If you ever seen Inside Out, my guys put up that little screen of the picture I got of my grandfather smiling down at my firstborn. So it was actually the craziest story about that. Kind of like bringing a little bit back is the day he was born. We went into the hospital. We were there from 6 a.m. Going through whatever. My aunt was home with my grandfather, and I come from a bowling family. So whenever my grandmother talked about the thunder and everything like that, she explained it to me that the angels are falling, and that's why it's, the thunder sound and everything like that. And so that was her analogy to try and explain it to me. So when she told me this after the fact, she went down to get gas, and they were waiting for me to call and let them know that, that Ashton was born and everything like that, and they were sitting there waiting. She went down to get the gas, and someone was like, oh man, they're bowling up there tonight. And she was like, oh, that's kind of weird, like, haha, like, whatever. It wasn't raining yet. And then she was home waiting. My grandfather asked her, he's like, hey, did you hear from, you heard from Lewis? And I was just like, no. And she's like, no, I haven't. And she said at that moment, she got a text from me, a crack of thunder, and she looked down and said, he's here. And it was a sign, how we interpreted it, it was a sign from my grandmother, who was up in heaven, in our beliefs, sending down the sign that, like, it was just, the timing was too much of a coincidence, you know what I mean? And that has to be that is actually one of my favorite memories of being a dad, is that no matter what, I feel like the people that cared about me the most were right there with me, and I felt that, to experience that time with me. So thank you, Dave, for sharing that story, because that
So
correlated so well.
mine was basically my youngest son was in the hospital from that TBI I told you guys about earlier.
Yep.
So I haven't seen my son in 2 weeks because child services wouldn't let me see him until they got the okay from their supervisors.
Mm-hmm.
And after I got the okay from their supervisors, I go in the room, and my son needed a diaper change. So I go ahead and change his diaper, and then all of a sudden I look up at him, and it was hard for me to look up at him because his head was wrapped up in gauze and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then as I looked up at him, he was smiling. I'm like, this ain't normal. You shouldn't be smiling right now. But like he has a smile like that brightens up the whole room.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, no, that smile that they do really, it's like a knife just stabs you in the heart, and it's just like, oh, God, you broke me, So I completely understand that first smile, that was his first smile for you.
No, it wasn't his first smile, but like he was in severe amounts of pain, and you could tell like he was in severe amounts of pain.
Yeah,
But he didn't show it. Like when I went to go see him.
that's good. That's good. That could be because you were there.
Mhm.
You just had to drop off your kids.
Sorry, I had to actually stay muted for a minute.
You're good. Noah, do you have a story to share? What's going on, Triple N? Triple N's my brother.
I don't really have a story to share. No stories.
No stories? Alright, that's fine.
No stories. Yeah, I mean, I shared my story. That's about
Hey, that's... I appreciate it.
with my father.
Good. Alright, well, I appreciate you guys stopping in and sharing again. I think we're going to call it a night. So, thank you for being a part of this. Just to let you guys know, again, I'll be putting it up on my YouTube channel, and I will share it to you guys from there. Also, Wednesday, I do have an interview with a gentleman, and he has his own business. His name is Wade. He owns AW shopping, AW online shopping. He makes his own crafts and everything, so definitely stop by and check him out. He's a really cool guy. He also is an advocate for autism awareness and anti-bullying. So, yeah, stop in, check it out Wednesday around 11 o'clock a.m. Dave. I know what you're doing.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'll be interviewing him at 11 a.m.
I was letting you back up.
You're good. 11 a.m. Eastern time.
I can on 11 a.m. unless they change my schedule.
No, I'm going off his schedule, so. But I will
Why
be
is everything all skippy all of a sudden?
recording that and putting it to the YouTube as well. So if you guys want to stop in and show some love to me and him, I would appreciate it. But until next time, you guys get, stay healthy, stay friendly, and keep everybody happy. Not everybody. You can't make everybody happy. But you know what I mean. Thanks for stopping in and talking.
You can't make 100%. You can't keep 100% of the people happy 100% of the time, but you can keep one person happy with 100% of effort.
Very true.
There you go.
Words of wisdom, guys.
Another piece of
There you
words
go,
of
Dave.
wisdom is you can't change the people around you, but you can change the people around you.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, you can.
All right, guys. Thanks again.
That is
Check out
extremely
Bob's
accurate.
Boys. I'll
Thanks,
catch you next
Gonzo.
Thanks,
time.
Gonzo.
This has been
Have a
awesome,
great
bro.
night, man.
Awesome. Peace.
You have a good night, brother. Thank you again.
You too, man.